Hi everyone, it's Julianne here for Honeybee Stamps and welcome back. I'm super excited to be sharing this Christmas card with you all today. I'm going to be using one of my favorite new products, which is the brand new Lovely Layers Pinecone Honey Cuts. And I'm going to be combining that with an older die set, the Be Bold Alpha dies, in order to spell out the word joy, which will be my focal point for my card today. I'm going to be jumping right in by creating my forest green background, and I'm going to be doing that by doing some ink blending using my Distress inks in the colors Evergreen Bough, Lucky Clover, Pine Needles, and finally some black soot. I'm going to start off by ink blending my lightest color, which is going to be that Evergreen Bough, and I'm going to be adding that towards the center of my background panel, and this is a piece of Ranger watercolor cardstock that I have trimmed down to A2 size. I'm just going to be adding that color just to the center of my background panel, and that's going to give me a really nice highlight in the center of my card. I'm then going to come in with my Lucky Clover, and I'm going to be adding that color to the outside edges of my panel, blending that color in towards the center. Next, I'm going to want to start really darkening those edges, so I'm going to be bringing in some pine needles. Again, I'm going to be really focusing that color just on the edges of my panel. And then finally, I'm going to come in with my darkest color, which is going to be black soot, and I'm just going to be adding that color to the edges all the way around my panel. Once I have enough of that black soot down, I'm then going to be coming back in with pine needles, and I'm going to blend those edges together, and then finally, I'll be blending everything together using some more of that Lucky Clover. Next, I'm going to add some texture into my background panel, and for that, I'm going to be splattering some Perfect Pearls in the color Gold throughout. And I'm just going to add those Perfect Pearls directly to my work surface, and then I'm going to spray a little bit of water in order to mix those together before splattering using a paintbrush. I do have my background panel inside of a splat box to hopefully contain most of those splatters, but if you do not have a splat box, that's perfectly fine. An old shoebox will work just the same. Once I feel as though I have enough splatter on my background, I'm just going to set that off to the side to dry, and then I'm going to start working on creating my pine cone. So here is the Lovely Layers Pinecone Honey Cuts. There are 12 dies included in this set. 6 of those dies create the pine cone itself, which you layer together in order to get some really nice dimension. 3 of the dies will create your bow, and then finally the last 3 dies are some pine leaves that you can add behind your pine cone to give your card some really nice texture and even more dimension. So I have already ran all of my die cuts through my die cutting machine, as you can see here. And now to add some color to my pinecone die cuts, I'm going to be doing some more ink blending. I'm going to be using the colors Gathered Twigs and Walnut Stain. And I'm going to start out by ink blending the Gathered Twigs first over each of my die cut pieces. And then to make those bottom edges a little bit darker than the rest of the pinecone, I'm then going to be coming back in using some Walnut Stain. Now, if you didn't want to do any ink blending for this, you could definitely just use your die cuts and use them out of some brown colored cardstock, and that would work the same. Once I have ink blended each of those 6 die cut pieces, I'm then going to start adhering each of those layers together. The die cuts are really easy to put together. You're going to start with the largest die cut as the base of your pine cone, and then you're going to use the second largest die cut, and you're going to adhere that on top of the bottom piece, lining it up at the top of each of those die cut pieces. Once you have adhered those, you're then going to continue that same process till you have each of those 6 die cut pieces adhered together, and the last piece is going to be the smallest of the 6 die cut pieces. Once I have each of my die cut pieces assembled together, I'm going to start adhering everything down to my card. Now I have already decided where I want everything to go, so I'm going to start out by adhering the leaves first, and I'm going to be adhering those directly to my background panel, and I'm going to be adhering them using some liquid adhesive. I'm going to be positioning 3 of them so that it looks as though they are popping up from behind my pine cone. And once I have each of those adhered, I'm then going to be adhering my pine cone directly over those leaves. You can definitely skip adding in the leaves if you want to recreate this card, but I really think it helps in separating the pine cone from my ink blended background. Once that's all adhered, I'm then going to be adhering my die cut letters, And I did use the Be Bold Alpha dies for that. And I ran those through my die cutting machine using some red glitter cardstock. I thought having that red glitter cardstock would be a really nice contrast from my green background. And I will also be adhering my smaller sentiment, which is from the brand new Joy Buzzword stamp set. And I did stamp and white heat emboss that sentiment onto some red color cardstock as well. In order to finish off my card for today, I'm going to be adhering a few gold confetti mix pieces throughout my background. And once I have each of those adhered down, that's going to complete my joy-inspired Christmas card using the brand new Lovely Layers Pinecone Honey Cuts. I really love how this card came out, and I think my favorite part is that ink blended background. Let me know what you all think down in the comments. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and spending some time with me. I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe for even more card making ideas. The Honeybee Holiday Cheer release is available for purchase in the shop, and I will have a link down below in the description box to take you straight there, as well as links to everything that I've used in my video for today if you are interested. Now, if there is a certain product in this release that you would like for me to use in my next video, please leave me a comment down below letting me know. I definitely want to create cards where you guys already have the products or you do plan on purchasing them. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time, and happy crafting!